My wedding to Marwa is quickly approaching, but treachery is afoot.
Tuesday.
I think this little fella is having a tantrum.
I'm fine.
Is Nandor's wedding making you put your knickers inside a twist?
Some of these things are literally impossible.
Name one.
You want a live dodo bird to roast.
You'll figure it out.
You are being a real bridezilla.
I don't know what that is.
The giant lizard creature.
FX's What We Do in the Shadows. All new Tuesday at 10 on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world.
You're listening to the League Podcast of Vampire Council, What We Do in the Shadows podcast, Season 4, Episode 6, The Wedding. I'm Matt Dyson.
Clay Inferno here.
Well, this is it, Clay. The long-awaited wedding for Nandor and Marwa. And I have to say, I was a little surprised. I guess like this is kind of like what TV show weddings have always kind of been. This sort of like slapsticky kind of like like because Nandor is a bridezilla. They even use that term, and he says, "What does that mean?"
right. He is.
Like, you're becoming a bridezilla, and he's like, what does that mean?" And then they have to explain what Godzilla was, which is really funny.
Yeah, but now you're like, as the guide is about to say, it's
Yeah.
a big monster. She does one of her big mega screams, and enough.
Yeah, but it's funny when you think of. I guess that just got me thinking, right? Because I was like, oh, God's like, I bet there's a lot of people who don't even know where what Godzilla is, or
yeah.
I'm not gonna say women, but I mean, let's just say like bridezillas who maybe don't even know where that term came from.
They don't, but they might not know. They might say bridezilla, but not know what it means. I guess.
Not know, right?
Yeah,
that it's a giant lizard who stomps Tokyo and whatever. Yeah, but that's basically Nandor and.
But Godzilla he's got to be up there. I mean, it's not like he's no Superman, but a lot of people do know who Godzilla is.
No, you're right. But maybe they don't know they don't know like exactly everything about Godzilla,
young kids don't know anything. There hasn't been a new, actually, no, there's been
a couple years ago.
I forget those movies so much. I
know.
So forgettable.
Right. Exactly.
They're the guy from Breaking Bad was in that one movie.
Well, that was the best one, I think, but all right.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, like, maybe people don't know. There's probably some people that don't know, but Nandor didn't know. And so Guillermo is his best man, and his job is to make everything perfect, right? And he's freaking out, like right at the very beginning, like the first pre-credit sequence, right, is him. He has like a meltdown.
Right. No one slept. Nandor can't sleep because he's making his bridezilla lists.
Right.
And then also, I always get confused about this stuff too, because they sleep during the day, but then Guillermo is like, I haven't slept, so does that mean he's up all day and all night?
Yeah, I guess so, right? Because he's probably up all day taking care of these things, but all night is when Nandor is up, probably bugging him about this stuff.
Right. I guess, yeah. So like you're, it's like me. I know I have certain tasks I have to do in the morning, but I can't do them now.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it's best not to think too much about it. He just hasn't slept, and he's drinking like a Red Bull and everything, But the things are. So one of the requests is a dodo.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't know they've been extinct, whatever.
And then and he goes, since when? And he goes, Guillermo goes, 1681.
Yeah, I know. Like, he knows right off the top of his head the year the dodos became extinct, but then also this is the big milestone. We talked about this in all of our previous episodes. This episode, spoiler warning.
Yeah,
sees Nandor use his wishes and
right. It's I have a whole wish segment planned when we get to wish fulfillment. I didn't tell you that ahead of time, so don't. So I'm sorry that you're surprised, but I do
That's
want to. I want to
okay.
go deep into the wishes, but in the setup for the show, it's just kind of like I think Guillermo even says you could just wish this all like the black
Yeah.
roses, and then Marva comes in and she says she wants like white and red roses instead of or white and pink instead of like he's like red and black roses.
Yeah. I know because now he's kind of like, oh, and because one of the times he used a wish because he didn't feel like closing the casket or whatever. Like he's like, I wish I didn't use them all so frivolously or something like that. So like they cut to him being like, oh, I don't feel like closing that casket. I wish it would just close. He says, and the djinn is there, and he's like, is that real? And he's like, yes, and he clicks the pen. Like the clicking of the pen is.
That's so funny. That's kind of like how when like I don't know, like you like wake up and you have to pee and you're like, oh, I don't want to get up at all, or like,
right,
or like, oh, it's too hot in here. Like I gotta get up and open the window. And just like, yeah, I think I would waste a wish on that too.
I just wish the window would just open. Yeah, I know, but that's basically what he's done. And now he's running very low.
This is the I didn't go and look at this Reddit thread that you were talking about before, but I've very much been thinking about it. Like this basically says that he used all his wishes now, right?
Yeah.
But here's what I think is good in and funny in like a Bugs Bunny kind of way. Like we really don't know still how many he used. They just said he had 52 or whatever, or 50, I don't know what the number was.
I think it was 52, right?
And then but then we see him like waste a bunch of stuff, and then like stuff that you don't know if it was a wish or not. And
right,
because I was thinking if you were watching Bugs Bunny, you wouldn't like be counting the wishes. Like it literally doesn't matter. But it was such a fun little game to play, to be like, are we gonna find out like what happens? And then also, spoiler warning, in this universe, where you can have wishes, you cannot wish for 1,000 more wishes.
Right, because as a wedding
that comes
gift,
way later, but still.
Well, do you want to? We don't have to. Okay, do you want to wait then?
No, I don't. I don't want to wait. I'm just saying, like, they have some rules around the wishes, and the thing that I just wanted to talk about wishes because, like, that's the thing that everybody always says. You said that, like, can he wish for 1,000 more wishes? We find out no.
Assumed, right? But I guess not, right? Because he does give him 3. He's like, here you go, and he gives him a tiny little lamp, right, as a wedding present.
Yeah, it's the wedding present. Yeah.
And he's like, this is 3 more wishes, and he's like, can I wish for 1,000 more wishes? He's like, no. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not how
Nandor gets 3 wishes, and he's like, "Oh, thanks a lot," or something.
I know
like
he's kind of. He's the one who blew them all. So, but one of them is the dodo, right? Bringing back a dodo for the wedding, and then the other one.
No, actually, that did not come from.
Oh, right. I thought it did.
The djinn. No, because I wanted to talk about how you were saying, like, Guillermo was overwhelmed and everything, and then what happens is the girls, Nadia and the guide, kind of do like a girlfriend's favor for Guillermo, and they're like, "We're gonna help you with this wedding."
Yeah.
So what happened was the guide said that she had a dodo fucking nest or something.
Oh, right.
At the Chamber of Curiosities. You can borrow it. Which is a wedding thing, something borrowed, something blue.
Right, that's
and
true.
Then the dodo
borrowed.
is blue. So, hey.
Oh, yeah.
2 birds, 2 extinct birds with 1 stone, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. I forgot that, yes. But there is also, speaking of Nadia and the guy, there is like a fun little, because the Baron doesn't want to go to the wedding as like a half a burnt up corpse.
Right. Like Nandor wants him to officiate, and he's out as we remember, he's out in the woods with the dog and the sire.
The dog is still there, yeah. But yeah, he wants to, so they go, this is kind of weird, like 80s movie montage.
Oh, it was a
great
great montage. Kind of like the montage from the Brain Scramblies.
I guess so, yeah. but like they get all dressed up and they're dressing them up in
Yeah, they're
different
like
things to make it look like
makeover. So
yeah,
it's kind of like a bridezilla. If you ever watch any of those bride shows, they always do that too. It's like a big makeover scene, but then yeah, it's totally like Hall and Oates. What
right.
is that? Candle feels the flame. Oh yeah,
you make my dreams come true. Ooh.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
neon sunglasses and
Yeah.
a bunch of ridiculous stuff in the montage that's like, I almost like it would just be too much to go through all of them. But then they're all like, they lined up in like a cuddle pile at the end, just laughing like
I
they
know.
were like
I
Molly
mean,
Ringwald or something.
exactly.
It's so funny.
I mean, it's very campy, but it's so like
John
tongue-in-cheek.
Hughes. It's totally John Hughes.
Yeah, right. But they're just sort of winking at, you know what I mean? Like they're not playing this serious. It's just so goofy that they're just like, see, like let's see how goofy we can be too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's funny, and yeah, the Hall and Oates.
And yeah, back to the Wish thing. Yeah, like you said, like he's like a hot dog. There, he looks like a burnt hot dog. But but the guy in Nandor said that he was still fuckable.
That's
even
right.
as a hot dog. Of course, he's still fuckable. But anyways, yeah, they ask Nandor. I don't know how it comes up, but Nandor gives the wish to the to the Baron that he wants to be rebuilt,
Yeah,
and we get
that
to
he
see Doug Jones in like the closest to human makeup I've seen him in a long time, because I watch him on Star Trek.
Oh, really?
He's like he's a really crazy looking alien in that. That looks like a crab or something. So like he's Saru in Star Trek, but yeah, a vampire looks more human. You actually get to see his face, because it's always weird when you see Doug Jones like do an interview or something. You're like, that's what he looks like? Wow, it's weird. But now we get to see the Sire, and he's got this beautiful long. Not the Sire, I keep saying that. The Baron he's got his nice vampire clothes, and everybody wants to fuck him.
I know it's great, and like now he's like a whole. So like for future episodes, he's like a whole person now. And so I assume he's just gonna kind of be part of the team. You know what I mean, right?
His next cameo, he'll just be a regular person.
Probably,
again.
yeah.
Because even when he showed up, he was like all crispy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to bring up also Derek comes back. When we see him, Guillermo goes to a convenience store, like an all-night, obviously convenience store. Derek from the previous episode, where he was just like sort of the hipster vampires, or he was one of the hipster vampires, right?
Yeah.
And now he's like, and he was a vampire hunter, right? Was he a vampire hunter? Was he? He was in the Vampire Hunters. Yeah.
I think he got he became a vampire, but I think he was part of Guillermo's Vampire Hunter Club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he started out as that, and then he became a vampire, and now he's working in this convenience store because he says he's just kind of bored. He doesn't have, and he knows he's going to live for like 600 years.
And as fans of the show, like I bet you were surprised. Like I didn't think anyone would be going back to the Vampire Hunting Club, or like, I always expect. I'm like always dying, like, oh, please do like a witch hat episode and have Nick Kroll show up or something like that. But you don't kind of expect this like cameo, but it's like, yeah, it's like ties into the history of the show. Like that's really awesome to bring this guy back. And he's lonely. He's it's like Clerks. He's like, he's like, Guillermo asked for 5-hour energy drinks, and he goes, do you want the ones that keep you up or the ones for you dick? And he's like, Derek. And he's like on the phone Guillermo's talking on the phone, ordering chocolate fountains, and like, can I put other liquid in there?
I know, you assume he's going to be putting blood ice into the thing. Yeah. So I love it. And Derek is just kind of like, but like he's all sad, and Guillermo's like, do you want to come to a vampire wedding? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. He's like, okay, I'll text you. And he's like, you had my number this whole time? It's just like the saddest part.
And then like I think it cuts the commercial right then. So he's like, you had my number the whole time. And then it's like, what?
There wasn't even a real commercial. There was like a fake commercial in here.
There was, and I can tell you what it's about because I accidentally we record this in the past, everybody listening. But they're the most recent episode that you can watch, like started playing by accident just a few minutes before we were going to record because it like just came out, and I was watching obviously to catch up for the podcast, and I saw what it is. It's that do you remember like in the first episode Laszlo was like talking about like this Fixer Upper show that he watched?
Yeah.
I
love that.
It looks like, well, spoiler warning because this will be out by then. The episode's already out. They're like, those guys are going to the mansion and like flipping it or whatever, like renovating it. So it was like a commercial for that.
Nice. I mean, it definitely was. Yeah, I forget the name of the show, but it was really funny because I was like, I was gonna fast forward over it because I still have cable, right? So I DVR this, and I was like, oh, they're going to commercial, because I fast forward over the commercials, and I was like, oh wait, that wasn't a commercial. Well, Rachel said it actually. She's like, no, that was part of the show.
Well, it's like a fake commercial, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I thought it was a real commercial. Weird. But all right, it's really quick. So like the wedding is happening. One of the wishes too, I don't know if you mentioned, is Marwa's parents. She wanted her parents to be there.
Yeah.
And he's like, they've been dead for 600 years. Like,
yeah, they had a prior engagement for being dead. But so one of the wishes is to bring them back and that they speak English. This is really funny. And then he's kind of like doing the in-law thing where he was like, perhaps you could have a nice departure an early departure right after brunch on Sunday. Could you arrange that?
Yeah.
When he hears them, because he clicks them sort of in existence, and Mara was like, "Oh, you can hear it in the background, it's off camera. Like, let's get them out of here as soon as we can."
Yeah, like he just wants to, and right after the wedding, I think, or whatever. Yeah, so he doesn't have to be too nice. But one of the other funny things, I forget if this is kind of during the wedding or one of the parts of the wedding, but. This is one of Laszlo. Laszlo doesn't have a lot to do in this episode, but he and Nadia sing this wedding song, which is like the funniest thing. Who's gonna come first? And like, it's really hilarious. I don't even remember any of the lines. I just remember cracking up hysterically.
Yeah, it's that it's like the Laszlo and Nadia music project that they did like last season.
Yeah, I think it's just a chance for Matt Berry to play the piano or whatever, you know what I mean? Because he's obviously a very talented musician.
And they said that they I watched that video that it sent to you. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but they said they wrote Laszlo. Other people were cast. Like Guillermo was like they were like, oh my god, this guy read this. He's the perfect, Guillermo. And he really tied it all together. It really tied the room together. But they wrote like Jermaine wrote the part for Matt Berry. Like, it's definitely like, and because of Flight of Conchords and stuff, like you knew that was gonna like be part of it, music that is.
Well, yeah, but like anytime they get a chance, he does play it. Like he plays a lot of piano actually on this show, but yeah,
Nandor, you're always tinkering on your piano.
But I listened to actually. Matt Berry was on Bullseye. I sent you that link actually. I think.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that one yet, but
I didn't listen to the full thing.
We both gave each other homework.
I know.
You watch this, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to that. I haven't done it yet. Sorry.
But he does say like he didn't know much about it. He never saw the movie, but he said, oh, it was Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi. So of course I said, yeah, it's, like he was like, do you want to do this vampire show? He's like, yeah. Like I mean, like he's so. So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, the song is amazing. I bet it's just on YouTube. If you haven't watched the show or whatever, or this episode or whatever, just look up that. Just look up like Nadia and Laszlo's wedding song, and I bet it's on there. But it's really funny. Yeah, it's basically who's gonna come first. But one of the things, and this is always sort of a comic trope or whatever. When the guy, the officiate, the Baron in this case says, if anyone does object to this, why these two should not be wed, and like, funny.
This is also 80s like comedy.
Yeah,
it's like Caddyshack for Christ's sakes. Is what happens.
They literally never do this in real weddings, right? I mean, do they? It's so
They do.
weird.
I've heard it said. Yeah, I've heard it.
Really?
said
I don't
part of
know.
it, yeah.
I mean, maybe I have and I just don't remember. But I mean, it's not like it's
No one's ever said anything.
right. I guess I did once. If you go to one of those really like traditional weddings, then you'll probably hear it, right? But most weddings, nobody asks that.
Most weddings are now are like with our group of friends are like at a barn with like homebrew beers.
Right.
and
Hey.
stuff, you know.
Nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know. At my city hall wedding, they didn't ask if anybody present is opposed or whatever. But
Oh right, and and that's like kind of a marker of it being like very traditional. Like, why don't they say it as part of the legal blah
Yeah,
blah, blah
right,
while you're
right.
doing it? You know, that would be a good time to say that.
there was literally 7 people there, so I hope, and they're all family, so I would hope none of them would be like, I don't think these two.
Actually,
Yeah, like if my dad said, you know what, I don't really think so, so. But like they came up with all, like literally everybody there has an objection, and one of the like everybody's raising their hands for different stuffs. I forget who. Somebody asked about like if they validate parking.
yeah. And then
Whatever. It's like
Guillermo
the stupidest stuff.
goes. Once again, we do not validate parking.
Right,
Please do not
right.
get up in line because it's a big line. The guide says, I don't think that she should marry Marwa because when I first saw Nandor, I was in love with him, but then immediately that feeling went away. But just
Yeah.
because I felt so intense, that is why.
Yeah. She's like, I thought I should mention it, I guess. Yeah.
And then the parking guy comes up, and then she goes, and the first time I met Marwa, I deeply fell in love with her.
Yeah, right. It's just, yeah, there's like a line of Guillermo is like sort of like he's like got a microphone, he's sort of just like at the front of the line, and
Yeah,
everybody's
he's like
coming up.
Donahue.
Right,
for,
right.
like, who has any questions?
I know.
That's how old we are, kids.
I know, Donahue.
A Donahue reference.
So that's, yeah, I mean, that was sort of like the big moment, like everybody come.
Yeah, but then
And-
they have. I mean, they're well. Fast forward, they're married. Nandor is like sitting in his big wedding throne there, like Game of Thrones style. Like I'm the king of the wedding or whatever. And the Jinn is sitting next to him. Is like that's when he gives him the
Right.
tinier lamp that
Yeah.
says it has 3 wishes in it as a wedding gift.
Yeah, and he wants more. I mean, I guess you get used to it, you get used to asking for anything you want. So.
Oh sure, yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty funny.
But we can, we can put the wish. I mean, we can think that they'll probably use those wishes in a smart way. Still, by the end of the season, he has this cool thing where they can do it whatever with it because he has wishes. So
yeah,
as long as he doesn't waste them.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see because so like Marwa, one of Marwa's things was that like she does whatever he desires basically. Like they agree on it. Maybe one of his, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with her and this because they're married by the end. And,
one of the wishes was that Marwa likes whatever Nandor likes.
Yeah.
And then there's this scene where Marwa's like, Guillermo, thank you so much. And Guillermo's like, you look so beautiful. Congratulations, Marwa. And basically, like, it sounds like Nandor's like speaking through Marwa, saying like, I thank you for everything you did. And then she starts like kissing him and hugging him and like, well,
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's a lot of kisses.
I know.
That's basically what if Nandor really could do that, he would.
Well, there's a moment, right, where he's like, "You're my best man." Like, like he
Man.
doesn't want to say friend.
Yeah.
But like Guillermo's kind of like, huh? And he's like, "You're my best man." And I think he says like, "Thank you for being my best man," which is it is really, yeah. I mean, I guess.
But then he does
like
something very sweet at the end where he's like, where Baby Colin Robinson is like gonna like draw like on Guillermo's passed out, and like Nandor like goes and like puts Guillermo to bed. So it's a very much a man crush thing going on between those two anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, so we'll have to see if there's some kind of weird because Marwa's desires are Nandor's, they share in that. Maybe we'll have to see where that goes, because that's been the story since like the first season, basically, like Guillermo and Nandor and what they're all about. So
Yeah, and then Nandor going off to find himself and whatever.
right. So this was the wedding, though. This was it. This was the one they've been building towards this, and this is only episode 6. So I think there's 10.
You're right. Totally. Like
So-
if we were, I'm trying to think of like where there was a wedding in like a sitcom that we all watched or something that would have been a big deal. I can't really think of them, but like I watched a bunch of sitcoms when I was growing up. Different Strokes, Facts of Life, like all that. I would watch them all.
Most of them are pretty young. I remember Cheers. Woody got married on an episode of Cheers, and that was like one of those big like farce kind of like everybody had like a task and whatever, and it was a whole like and I remember like a lot of it is like, oh, the bride and groom can't see each other, that was always a big thing.
Oh, but they always end up like making out in the closet before,
right,
but then they leave at a separate time.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
At the height of my horniness, let me just say that I've done stuff like that.
Made out in the closet? Yeah, sure.
Yes, made out in the closet and then left at a separate time.
Right. So that
Just
no one
like
knew.
Almost as if it was like a Hall & Oates video or something.
It probably was. But yeah, I mean, that was always the thing. There was always this kind of like, oh, we have to keep this wedding together, like, and whatever. So it was fun, actually, to see this kind of revisiting that kind of thing.
You know what I just thought of? When it was always funny when, like, something like Cheers would show, like, they'd, like, bring the cameras outside and they have different cameras or they film it differently or something. You're like, I'm not used to seeing these people outside. Right. They could show them, like, Woody, like, driving away in a limousine, like, outside of actual Cheers. And it's like, they went all out and, like, showed the exterior of the place for once. Or whatever.
I know, like, they would...
It was such a big contrast between, like, looking at them there and, like, how it was filmed outside.
I know, it's really weird. Like, once every couple years, I feel like they would come to Boston and film some outdoor stuff, and we would read all about it in the, like, newspaper back then, because this is
in the like Boston Herald.
Right. Oh,
Boston,
Stars of Cheers.
North Dakota Herald.
Yeah, North Dakota Herald, yeah. Like, yeah, the Stars of Cheers. Like, they used to have that, like, page in the middle where it'd be like, oh, Star Watch or whatever, like Celebrity Watch.
Yeah, Celeb Watch.
Look at Boston getting on Cheers. But, yeah, I mean, like, stuff like that. This was kind of like a throwback. I feel like this episode was kind of an homage to those kinds of things, but still keeping with the tradition of, what we do in the shadows as well. But
yeah. So
as far as the wishes, yeah, I mean, that's most of his wishes are gone, but I guess he's got 3, right? Does he have 3 left? No.
I think he has 3, unless they did a tricky thing where, how they showed him playing basketball against the, like, Dr. J cutout or whatever. Like,
that was awesome.
Was that, like, did they spend those 3 wishes, like, in the post-credit scene? Or was that, like, a flashback?
I think that was just him spending some of his other wishes.
From before.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Before.
But I feel like they're going to save at least one, right?
You have to.
He's probably going to... I feel like something nice. It's going to be like, okay, Marwa, you don't have to like what I like, or something like that. You know what I mean?
He
like,
could
he's going to
actually
maybe wish that away.
Without being his master, he could wish Guillermo to be a vampire.
Oh, maybe he could. I don't know. I don't think they should ever make Guillermo a vampire, but that's just me. I think he's... So, I don't know. But there's possibilities. Comic possibilities. So, we'll have to see. Next time on the Vampire Council,
Marwa will return in Pine Barrens.
All right. So,
you want to count it down again?
Yeah. But first, we got to say, listen to all of our podcasts, leaguepodcast.com, wherever you get your podcast. You're listening to this one, so you probably know where to find us because you found it.
And also, I have to say, we want to beat Baby Colin Robinson's YouTube subscribers, so please subscribe to us on YouTube.
Right.
It's League Podcast. And we appreciate everybody that this is like an experiment. Maybe we'll do this for every show from here on out, but I always post these on our YouTube channel so that if you wanted to listen to our past episodes from Vampire Council, going what through Shadows from the very beginning, then you can go ahead and do that. But please subscribe to our YouTube. I'd really appreciate that. That's all I want to plug.
Very
LeaguePodcast.com.
well. LeaguePodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast. And all right, let's count it down. Are you ready?
Yeah, are you going to count it down?
Yes, I am.
Okay, do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Back! Oh, you were late. You were way late. Want to do it again, or do you want? Are you good?
We'll do it again.
Sorry.
Captain, you're always late. Telling
All
me
right.
I'm late.
Maybe you're right. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Back! I didn't even hear you.
Oh, well,
I was screaming.
You were very animated.
Yeah.
Back.
Like us on YouTube. The Pine.
It's one of the hardest guitar pieces in the world to play.